Today I want to talk about something that honestly made me more optimistic about XRP than I've been in a very long time. During Ripple's recent XRP community discussions, I heard several insights that completely changed how I look at crypto adoption, not just for the overall industry, but specifically for XRP and the XRP ledger. What was shared wasn't hype, price speculation, or short-term excitement. Instead, it revealed a much bigger strategy that may explain how real-world crypto adoption is actually going to happen. Hey guys, welcome back to Whiteboard Crypto Update. In today's video, we will talk about XRP. So be sure to stay focused, as you surely don't want to miss out on this. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. Ever since the legal uncertainty around Ripple started clearing and XRP received stronger regulatory clarity compared to earlier years, Ripple as a company has become noticeably more open about what they are building. They are no longer speaking in vague concepts. Instead, they are clearly explaining real use cases, real infrastructure, and real financial applications being developed on the XRP ledger. And what I heard recently strongly suggests that mass adoption may arrive very differently than most people expected. One thing that stood out to me is how different Ripple's vision is compared to the traditional narrative many crypto projects pushed over the years. For a long time, the industry promoted the idea that everyone, families, friends, everyday users, would constantly use crypto wallets, trade NFTs daily, farm yields, and actively participate in complex decentralized finance systems. While that sounds exciting, it never fully felt realistic for mainstream adoption. Most people simply want financial systems that work better, faster, and cheaper without needing technical expertise. Ripple appears to have understood this from the beginning. Instead of forcing users to completely change behavior overnight, their strategy focuses on building simple, practical tools that institutions can adopt first. Then, over time, those improvements naturally introduce blockchain technology to the broader economy. During the discussion, Ripple's Chief Technology Officer David Schwartz and members involved in Ripple's institutional business talked about what they called killer applications for blockchain technology. What surprised me most was not futuristic innovation. It was how broken existing financial infrastructure actually is. Many legacy banking systems still operate on outdated settlement processes that are slow, expensive, and limited by business hours. An example shared involved financial institutions struggling with liquidity management. Banks often need funds positioned in specific accounts before market close to earn overnight yield or participate in short-term lending markets. Because settlements don't always align perfectly, institutions regularly miss opportunities simply due to timing inefficiencies. With blockchain infrastructure like the XRP ledger, transactions and settlement can happen instantly, allowing funds to move continuously, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year long. No banking holidays, no waiting windows. Think about how powerful that is from a business perspective. Imagine running a financial institution where money can only move during certain hours versus a system where liquidity can be optimized every second of the day. The operational savings alone become enormous. This isn't speculation, it's infrastructure improvement. And infrastructure improvements are often what drive the biggest technological revolutions. Another important point discussed was auditing and transaction verification. Many large corporations spend massive amounts of money hiring auditors and third parties just to confirm that transactions actually occurred correctly. Blockchain technology changes this entirely. Because the XRP ledger records settlement and payment simultaneously on a transparent system, reconciliation becomes automatic. Instead of multiple departments verifying numbers manually, the ledger itself acts as a shared source of truth. For companies, this isn't about excitement or ideology. It's about efficiency and cost reduction. If moving to blockchain dramatically reduces operational expenses, adoption becomes a business decision rather than a technological gamble. And that realization highlights why XRP's approach may be uniquely positioned. What became clear to me is that financial institutions are not being asked to adopt everything about crypto at once. Ripple meets them exactly where they are. Some institutions may only want faster reconciliation between databases. Others may initially use blockchain purely for settlement efficiency. Ripple doesn't force a full transition immediately. Instead, they introduce small improvements that solve existing problems. Over time, these institutions become comfortable using Ripple's infrastructure. They begin relying on it. And once they are integrated into that ecosystem, expanding into more advanced blockchain applications, including institutional decentralized finance, tokenization, and automated liquidity systems, becomes a natural next step. This is where the bigger picture starts to emerge. Institutional adoption may not begin with complex DeFi products. Instead, it begins with simple operational upgrades. Once institutions experience faster settlement, lower costs, and continuous market access, the advantages become impossible to ignore. At that stage, exploring deeper blockchain functionality becomes logical rather than experimental. What impressed me most is realizing that Ripple may have intentionally designed its strategy this way from the start. Rather than building technology and waiting for users to arrive, they focused on building bridges, pathways that allow traditional finance to transition gradually into blockchain systems. While parts of the crypto industry focused heavily on speculative retail activity, Ripple concentrated on enterprise relationships and compliance-driven solutions. The result is a foundation built on trust and familiarity. When institutions eventually decide to expand into tokenized assets, automated liquidity pools, or blockchain-native financial products, they are unlikely to start from zero. They will likely continue working with infrastructure they already understand and rely on, and that positions the XRP ledger in a very strong place. For me, this discussion clarified something important. The early phase of crypto adoption was never about convincing everyone to immediately use decentralized finance. The real objective was building the rails, the financial highways, that institutions could adopt quietly in the background. Once those rails exist, innovation can scale much faster. Many projects focused on building futuristic systems, hoping users would eventually come. Ripple, on the other hand, focused on building the roads that help institutions reach that future step by step. And when the next phase of adoption accelerates, those existing connections and integrations could matter more than anything else. Right now, some voices in the broader crypto space sound pessimistic about adoption timelines. Yet, at the same time, Ripple continues discussing expanding institutional participation and real-world integration. That contrast is fascinating because adoption often happens slowly at first and then suddenly all at once. The biggest takeaway for me is this: mass adoption may not look like millions of people suddenly downloading crypto wallets overnight. Instead, it may happen behind the scenes as banks, financial firms, and global institutions upgrade infrastructure using blockchain technology, with XRP acting as a key component of that transition. For the first time, the long-term strategy feels extremely clear. Ripple isn't trying to force the future to arrive instantly. They are building a pathway toward the next generation financial system, allowing institutions to move forward at their own pace. And if this strategy continues playing out the way it appears to be developing, XRP could be positioned at the center of one of the largest infrastructure shifts the financial world has ever experienced. Well, guys, that's all we have for you today. What are your thoughts on XRP? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, then be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Thank you for watching.